Right, so welcome everybody. Everybody got a block? I'll get myself a block actually. And got a handout, signed in. I've just done a little flyer. I don't know if there was enough to go around. Hopefully there were. I'm starting a class in December, Yoga for Health, which will follow on really nicely from what you're doing here, because obviously we've got 2 weeks left. Hasn't it gone quick? Got 2 weeks left, and I'm starting a Yoga for Health class, 75 minutes once a week on a Friday, which is going to be very similar to the yoga you've been doing here. It's kind of coincidence, but I thought it's a nice coincidence because it gives you something to continue doing if you want to. And it's drop-in, so you don't have to sign up for a course or anything. You just come and pay as you come along. You know, concessions are available and stuff if you need them. And it's a bit cheaper if you buy a discount card and things like that. So there's a flyer there. Let me know if you haven't got one and I can email one to you if you haven't been able to pick one up. It might not have been quite enough to go around. So that's that. I'm sure I wanted to say something else about that. Yeah, just in case anybody wasn't here. Do you know about the filming, Michael? No. So the other benefit that you're going to get, as you know, a couple of people had to drop out for various reasons and were very sad about it because they were really enjoying the course. So I'm just filming me, there's nobody else. And I'm putting it all online. Now the people that are using that, they say it's almost as good as being in the class, they're really benefiting from it. So it's for people who were in this class who couldn't continue. But of course you guys can have it as well. So I'm going to create like a web page for it where you can go in and view and review any of the other past weeks. I only started doing it from week 5 onwards, but as I do the next course, I'll film the first 4 weeks of that. So basically anybody who's done this course can then access it online for a time, you know, so that you can go in and review. You know, you may just want to do the teaching points, you may want to do the yoga. So I'll let you have the link. Either next class or by email. Yeah. Is the temperature okay for everyone? Yeah. Tropical. Yeah. I've turned it down a bit, and the blowers are blowing. I don't know why. Christmas decorations. Sorry about that. It's a bit early, isn't it? Oh, here we go. The blower's on full blast. That's why. So yeah. I've turned it down, so complain. Yeah, I think they have a Zumba class or something in, like the night before. So when I come in, it's all on like ice, cool box, cold. So then I come in and turn it all right off. But, so I'll keep playing with that. Hopefully that'll do it. Deep, is it? Anyway, I'll keep having a play. So, make sure you've got a handout and you've signed in. And the teaching points today, so just make sure that you're comfortable. So we're going to be about 20 minutes or so. So just make sure that you can stay comfortable, you know, a couple of blocks if you need them. And you can adjust your posture. You can lie down if you want to. You can lie on your front, lie on your side. Do whatever you need to do. You don't necessarily need to see me, do you even? So we're going to continue this week to talk about what we've started in the last week or so, which is the SWAN principle. So strengths, weaknesses, ambitions and needs. So we're going to continue that theme. Just touching on needs a little bit, which we talked about last week, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and moving on to ambitions and goals a little bit. Because as we begin to sort of wrap up from this course and think about what's next and what we want from our lives, perhaps even how we want to continue getting the benefit from yoga or from related things, might need to think about, you know, what are our goals in order, you know, what do we want to do next? What are our goals to carry on progressing? So But I've got a couple of readings for you, or certainly, a couple of readings. So this one is very lovely. It's always attributed to Nelson Mandela. I think he read it at his inauguration speech, but he didn't actually write it. A lady called Marianne Williamson did. So it's called Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest, and it's so lovely, it always touches me. So if I start to cry, just excuse me, probably won't, but it really does move me. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, God with a small g, depending on what your beliefs are. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. You see how children shine. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Isn't that lovely? Absolutely powerful. That's probably all I need to read, really. But that theme about children, I'm teaching autistic children. I've developed a very special yoga course to teach autistic children. And it's the most difficult thing I've ever done, I think, but the most rewarding. So last week was the first week, and there's 8 of them, and they're all in a big line, and they're all over the place. And they start to come down with yoga. And they've got this symbol, this means yoga. This means yoga. And a little boy last week, he was all over the place, right? And he wears these wellies and he refuses to take, so he's on his yoga mat in his wellies. He won't take them off. We tried to get him to take them off this week and he went and had a right paddy at the back of the class and he came and we said, no, leave them on, leave them on. And he left them on. And last week he was all over the place. He wouldn't look at me, he wouldn't. This week, he said, what's this? And he went, yoga, yoga. And I said, and what does yoga make us feel? And he went, nice, calm. I mean, this is an autistic 8-year-old. So children, they just shine, don't they, when we let them. And I think, with autism, it's educating other people so that you can see their light instead of judge them for being abnormal or wrong in some way. And I think because these kids, I just absolutely love them. And that kind of just someone who can see them for who they are, I think is quite empowering for them, perhaps, So it leads me quite nicely on to needs, because these children, right, they have certain needs. I'm teaching this class, and they need soft light. They tend to get very distracted by bright light, so we turn the light down. They need low noise, really. We can't make too much noise. What we were doing last night, we were pretending to be cats. We were doing the cat and pretending to be cats. So, certain noises will disturb them. They like to make noise, some of them, but some of them it disturbs, so we have to be careful of that. They really, really need routine. So all I can introduce each week is probably one new posture. So they have certain needs that are really clear. They need visual demonstration and they need really clear language. Stand still, stamp your feet, feel your feet on the floor. Really clear language, clear communication. And they also need, and this is me, I'm working with the NAS. I'm not an expert in autism, so they've taught me a lot of this. But they also need a lot of praise. So they need a lot of praise. So we have sat down and recognised what they need, So that they're their needs. And we all have needs, don't we? We talked about this last week, and I've done you a handout this week with the SWAN principle on the front, particularly the top bit. I mean, some of the lower bits go a bit more into yoga, really, but you may find it interesting. And then on the back, I've written out a little bit of what we did last week. So we're talking about needs, and remember that chart I had up? I've lost it. I must have left it in this room, and she's had it or something. So, but remember that chart, Maslow's hierarchy. It's on your handout. So it's important for us, as well as our strengths, which we've talked about at quite some length now, it's important for us to recognise, our weaknesses, the things that get in our way of being truly ourselves, of being connected to ourselves. And it's important for us to recognise our needs. What human needs are we most in need of? And they're classed from lower level needs, kind of more basic needs, to higher level needs. Like the children, important that we recognise what our particular needs are at any point in time, because they may change, the priority may change. To recognise them, and that's half the battle, and then go some way to fulfilling them. Okay, so if this makes sense. So from the basic physiological needs, such as food, drink, oxygen, shelter, activity, rest. We all need relaxation. We all need a certain amount of activity. To safety needs, so protection and feeling secure and safe where we live, where we work. To connection, belonging, feeling like we belong, feeling like we're loved and appreciated by ourselves and other people. So our need for connection. And that's what these kids need so much, because they're often ostracised by society because they have real difficulties in expressing themselves. They have difficulties with social communication, social understanding. So they're often on the edges of society. And what they really, really need is just to feel like people accept them and love them for who they are. So that's probably their biggest need. And then, as each one of these is more or less satisfied in some way, we go up in terms of the needs that we can then satisfy beyond that, in terms of the need for meaning in life, the need to understand things, the need to know answers to things, the need to explore the world and life, and then the need for beauty and balance and harmony, and appreciation of beauty in our lives. And then even higher, the sort of self-actualization needs, so that when we've gone beyond kind of the basic overcoming the symptoms that we currently have, and beyond that, it's to kind of to move into self-transformation and self-actualization, to really find self-fulfillment and potential, a full human potential. So this is kind of like a hierarchy of needs. So just before we move on to ambitions, it's only going to be another 5 minutes and then we'll do the practice. I want us all just to do this heart centering exercise. So just a bit of a centering exercise. So if we can sit up, you may need a couple of blocks. I want you to be as absolutely comfortable as you can be. So, you can have your legs out straight, you can be kneeling, you can have your knees bent, you can get a chair, just let me know if you want me to help you get a chair. Just sit comfortably. And we're going to do this lovely heart centering process. On the heat.